How to get so wealthy you question the point of chasing wealth. Wealth begins in the mind, long before it appears in your hands. When your purpose is great enough, money comes as a byproduct, not the goal. The richest man is the one who can live fully without fearing loss. When you master your desires, wealth becomes a servant, not a master, and in that moment you'll see true riches were never in the gold, but in you. 1. Wealth is first created in the mind before it's earned in the world. 2. Purpose attracts riches more powerfully than desire for money alone. 3. True wealth is freedom from fear of loss. 4. Mastery over desire makes money your servant, not your master. 5. The greatest riches are found within, not in possessions. Wealth is first created in the mind before it's earned in the world. For every fortune, whether measured in gold, influence, or achievement, begins as a thought, an idea so vivid, so definite, that it takes on a life of its own long before the first coin is minted or the first deal is struck. Your mental picture of prosperity becomes the seed that silently germinates beneath the soil of your daily actions, shaping the opportunities you notice, the decisions you make, and the persistence you show when others surrender. Those who rush into the marketplace without first cultivating a wealthy mindset are like farmers scattering seeds on barren ground. They may work tirelessly, but their harvest will always be thin because the inner soil was never prepared. To create wealth in the mind is to adopt a belief so unshakable that no setback can uproot it. To see yourself not merely as you are, but as you will be. To act today as the person who already possesses the success you seek. When your thoughts are saturated with the certainty of abundance, your speech, your posture, your confidence radiate in a way that naturally draws people, resources, and circumstances into your orbit. It is not magic, it is the law of cause and effect. Your inner state causes your outer reality. This is why some seem to attract prosperity effortlessly, while others struggle endlessly. One works from the inside out, the other from the outside in. If you would have more, you must first think more. If you would rise higher, you must first imagine yourself there. Hold a picture of your ideal life so clearly in your mind that it becomes impossible to doubt, and you will discover that the world has no choice but to shape itself around that vision. Purpose attracts riches more powerfully than desire for money alone because money, in its truest form, is never the ultimate goal. It is merely a tool, a servant that follows the trail of value you create. When a person's heart burns with a mission so clear, so deeply rooted in their very being, every action they take becomes infused with a magnetism that draws opportunities and resources like iron to a magnet. The world instinctively rewards those who solve real problems, who serve others with sincerity, who bring improvement, comfort, or inspiration into people's lives. And this reward often comes in the form of financial abundance. Yet, the mistake most make is chasing money without chasing meaning, and in doing so, they find themselves exhausted, unfulfilled, and strangely empty, even when the coins begin to pile up. A man with a powerful purpose never needs to wonder where his next opportunity will come from, for his clarity makes him stand out in a crowd of drifting souls, and people want to align with someone who knows exactly where they are going. Purpose gives endurance when obstacles appear, it gives courage when fear whispers in your ear, and it gives vision when the path seems unclear. Desire for money can fade in the face of hardship, but devotion to a purpose will push you through storms that would make others turn back. And here lies the great secret. When your aim is larger than yourself, when you are driven to build, to give, to improve the lives of others, you will find that money chases you, often faster and in greater abundance than you could have ever chased it yourself. In truth, wealth is not the cause of great purpose. Great purpose is the cause of lasting wealth. True wealth is freedom from fear of loss. For what good is a fortune if your nights are sleepless, your mind restless, and your heart chained to the anxiety of keeping what you have? A man may hold mountains of gold, vast lands, or a portfolio bursting with numbers, yet if he trembles at the thought of change, misfortune, or competition, he is not rich. He is imprisoned by his possessions. Real wealth is measured not only by what you own, but by how lightly you can hold it, knowing that your ability to create, to adapt, to rebuild, is the true source of your abundance. When you reach the point where loss does not cripple your spirit, when you understand that you are the master of your wealth and not the servant of it, you step into a rare and unshakable confidence. Fear makes men cautious, hesitant, and unwilling to seize new opportunities, for they cling so tightly to what they have that their hands are closed to receive more. But when fear is gone, you move boldly, you think clearly, and you act without the shadow of what if hovering over your mind. The wealthy in spirit know that money is a river, not a reservoir. It flows in and out, and the skill is not in holding every drop, but in ensuring the flow never stops. To live without fear of loss is to live in a state of quiet power, for no market crash, no theft, no reversal of fortune can strip you of the mindset and abilities that created your wealth in the first place. In that freedom, you find the highest form of prosperity, the kind that lets you enjoy what you have without being enslaved by the need to keep it. Mastery over desire makes money your servant, not your master, for when a person is ruled by endless craving, wealth becomes a chain rather than a crown. The tragedy is that many who gain riches quickly fall into the trap of wanting more, not because they need it, but because desire, left unchecked, becomes an insatiable hunger that robs them of peace. A man who has mastered his desires understands that money is a tool to be directed toward a purpose, not an idol to be worshipped. He spends with intention, invests with wisdom, and earns with integrity, never allowing greed to dictate his actions or fear to paralyze his decisions. When you control your wants, you free yourself from the manipulations of the world, for advertisements, trends, and peer pressures lose their grip on a disciplined mind. The servant role of money becomes clear. You tell it where to go, you decide what it will do, and it works to fulfill your vision rather than tempt you into chasing hollow indulgences. Mastery over desire also brings contentment, which is perhaps the most underrated form of wealth. For a contented person can enjoy his riches without constantly comparing them to others or fearing they are insufficient. This power over self is the very thing that allows great fortunes to last, because a person who cannot be seduced by every fleeting whim will preserve and grow what they have with patience and purpose. And here lies the true secret. The man who commands his desires will always command his wealth, but the man who is commanded by his desires will always serve his wealth, no matter how many millions rest in his account. In the end, control over self is the highest currency you can ever possess. The greatest riches are found within, not in possessions, for all the gold, jewels, and estates in the world cannot match the value of a mind filled with wisdom, a heart at peace, and a spirit rich in gratitude. Possessions can be taken, stolen, or destroyed, but the wealth you carry within, your character, your knowledge, your resilience, cannot be stripped from you by any hand but your own. Too many people chase the outward symbols of success, only to discover that they feel empty once they have them, because they have neglected the inner life that gives meaning to every achievement. True wealth is waking each day with purpose, meeting challenges with courage, and finding joy in both the small blessings and the grand triumphs. It is the ability to stand tall in the face of loss, knowing that your value as a person has nothing to do with the numbers in your account or the size of your estate. When you cultivate inner riches, you walk through life with a quiet confidence that does not depend on circumstances, because you know that everything you create externally is merely a reflection of who you are internally. The truly wealthy are those who invest as much in their mind, their relationships, and their spirit as they do in their businesses and assets. They understand that external success without inner fulfillment is a hollow victory, while inner abundance naturally expresses itself in the form of outer achievements. The world may measure wealth in currency and possessions, but the wise measure it in freedom, peace, and purpose. In the end, the richest person is not the one who has the most, but the one who needs the least, because they have already found the treasure that no market can buy.